everybody, I am Iman Ali and today I'll help you prepare for your English as Second Language examination. In this unit, we will learn about exercises 1 and 2, which are the reading comprehension exercises for both the core and extended papers. You need to read the text and answer the question, which tests your reading comprehension from skimming and reading from gist. But in exercise 1, it's not that much detailed. You just need to skim and scan the text and write short answers to the question. But in exercise 2, you need to understand the text well and you need to write a little detailed answers, but in precise way. In both core and extended papers, you need to apply your skimming and scanning skills. However, in the exercise 2 of extended paper, the last question of this exercise is usually of 4 marks, where you are expected to write 4 points. Now let's have a view first at exercise 1. Exercise 1 would look something like that, which would be very simple. You just need to skim and scan through the text and answer the questions on the next page. So the simplest way that is very efficient is to go through the passage quickly, quickly skim and scan the passage and keep a track of all the important things that you come through. So how you can do that is either you underline the main points or you put them under brackets. And then beside that, you just write a short note that what that underlined text talks about, so that the next time you don't need to read the whole text because you already have the key words with you underlined, the key points underlined with you. So for exercise 1, remember to be very precise and do not exceed the line in any of the exercises of this English paper. Do not exceed the line given to you. And headings and subheadings are very useful because they actually give you an idea of what the whole passage is talking to you about. Read the question and the text very carefully so that you know what the question is talking to you about, and you also know what the passage is talking to you about when you're reading it. Reading carefully doesn't mean you take your time and read. Be quick, but make sure that you do not skip anything and you understand what you're reading. Then the very important thing is you are not being judged on your creativity or on your vocabulary in comprehension. What examiners look in comprehension is skimming and scanning skills. So make sure you do not write adjectives and full complete sentences. And if you're not writing sentences, then there's no point of putting a full stop. So make sure you write keywords, very short answer, and no sentences, plus no adjectives. Now look at this example. In this example, the keywords in A are where and originate. Alright, but you see originate is nowhere to be found in this text in the comprehension passage. But there is a synonym of originate, which is developed. So you see, they are expecting you to write a place from where this particular thing has been originated. And originated means developed. So you do not need to write the whole sentence, you just have to write Sweden. So orienteering developed in the 1930s in Sweden. You don't have to write the whole sentence, you just have to write Sweden because they're asking you where. Okay, exercise 2 is the other comprehension exercise. In this exercise, you may need to write little longer answers, but remember, you don't have to write sentences. And in some questions, you are required to write 2 pieces of information, but you will be awarded with only 1 mark. That means if you don't write one of those 2 pieces of information, you will not be given half marks, instead you will be given 0 marks. So there is no halves or quarters in IGCSE. Look at this example. In this first question, you are required to write 2 details but with 1 mark. So if you don't write one of them, you are getting 0. And if you write both of them, you're getting 1 mark. Whereas in other type of question, you also need to write two details here as well, but you are being given 1 mark for each detail. So these are two possible types of questions that can come. Now I will give you a short quick tips for exercises 1 and 2, which if you keep in mind, you will surely you will not find problems if you keep these tips in your mind. First one is always read quickly through the text, skim through, and make sure you underline the keywords or the important information you feel you underline and keep track of them. Read the questions carefully. They're asking you to write two details. Make sure you write 2 details. Okay, and if they're given you 2 lines, write 1 detail on 1 line and the other on the other line. But make sure you use those lines and you do not exceed the lines. Then in questions, when we get the paper, what we keep in mind is that we just want to finish the paper on time, and so we ignore the questions and we quickly, we don't put much attention on what the question is telling us. Okay, you do go through the question quickly, there's no problem, but make sure you understand what the question is asking you about. For example, if the question is asking you about a place, where did this particular activity originate from? So don't end up writing when did it originate from. Write exactly where did this originate. I'm just giving you an example. Try to match the words in the question with the correct point in the text. This is called scanning. So quickly go through the text, and as I just showed you, you might find synonyms or words same. Like the question might ask, just example, I'll use the same example, where did this activity originate from? So you might find the word originate in the text, you might find it, or you might find the synonym of that word. Okay, so it's very important to read the question especially very carefully. Once again, do not write full sentences, because you are only, what we need to see is what the examiner looks is of your skimming and scanning skills, not your creativity skills in comprehension. And too much writing can waste your time actually. So if you give too much information, you might also, there are many possibilities of ending up writing wrong details, which could mean you lose a mark. You surely can copy the words from the text. You do not need to use your own words, but if you do write in your own words, you won't lose your mark as long as you are writing the correct information. Then look out for the main idea of the question, what the actual question is talking to you about. Underline the signpost phrases in the question so that you know what exactly the question wants you to answer. Make sure you do not exceed the answer line given to you and end up writing in the for examiners use side, because that's only for the examiner. That's not for us to write over here. Okay, that's not for the candidate to write anything or do anything over there. This rule applies to all of the IGCSE papers. Make sure you do not write in this for examiners use side. Okay, once again, let me repeat, there are no half marks, no quarter marks. There's only 1 mark or 2 mark or so on. If they're asking you to write 2 pieces of information and you are awarded with 1 mark for that, remember, you will not get half mark on writing only 1 information. You must write both the information in order to get full 1 mark. In the final question of exercise 2 in the extended paper, there is always 4 marks available, for which most of the times they will give you 4 lines, and you are required to write 4 details in each line, 1 detail on each line. So that 4 lines doesn't mean you need to write whole big paragraphs and be creative and all. You just have to write 1, 2 and 3 and write the points on each line. Remember, no paragraphs there. Remember, the last thing, let me tell you that questions are usually in the same order as in the information in the text. But in the final question of exercise 2, you will not find the answer in same orders. For example, 1 point might be in the first paragraph, second point might be on the third paragraph, but usually excluding the last question of the second question exercise, all other questions are in the same order as the information in the passage. So thank you very much, and I hope I was helpful for you, and good luck for your examination. Study well, keep on reading so that you can improve your vocabulary, and not apply the vocabulary in comprehension, but apply it in the writing side. Okay, so good luck and thanks for watching.